Hi. First of all, I just want to say that atheism in general isn't a majority. It's not even a very recognizable group. Therefore, I kind of find it pretty strange that the Christians, like, all over YouTube and everywhere, just feel so threatened by it. And, you know, as an atheist myself, whenever I meet a Christian, it's always, oh, do you believe in God? Oh, why not? And then they start, going on and on about faith and the second coming and quoting the Bible, and I kind of don't get it because if Christians are the majority and they're around, most people who are also Christian, why it bothers them that there are atheists in the world who don't believe in God and are fine with it. I mean, can we just not be like, the freaking Romans killing off Christians when this Christianity first started? Can we just, leave our little groups, our minority groups alone like it is in the Dark Ages? I don't understand that. But there are several theories very popular amongst Christians to kind of, attempt to use logic to support their faith so that they can cling to it. And I mean, not to say that I have a problem with them using faith. I mean, if they want to, that's fine, but trying to force it on other people, I'm not really like that. But, however, I am going to debunk some theories against atheism. And a really popular one is kind of agnostic, proof that they have, which is supposed to prove that Christianity is the only way or whatever, but really all it is making a big agnostic statement like, oh, how do you know that there is no God? Do you have proof? Have you seen the whole universe and can report back that there is no God? Well, I'm going to start off by saying that we used to think that God was up in the clouds, but it turns out that we've been all the way to the moon and back, and we haven't found God per se. I mean, you could say it's in another dimension and that we can't know exactly, but that kind of argument is still just an agnostic argument. Like, saying that God could exist is saying that you're agnostic. And I don't know why Christians make that argument. I mean, I feel like it would just be, more honest of them to just say, like, I don't know about facts and everything, but I like sticking to the Bible because it's how I was raised, or it gives me comfort, so I'm going to stick with it. Like, I don't have a problem with that. I mean, a lot of people say that all Christians are really stupid, but I don't know, I've met some Christians that were well-rounded and, doing okay. I mean, I wouldn't want to, date a Christian or whatever, but, I would be friends with them. I am friends with Christians, but I just don't like it when they force it on me, or try to, or there's this awkward moment where you're expected to do this social Christian thing. So that's what my little mini rant is about. Another theory that, another argument that really pisses me off is when any Christian, anywhere, whether it's like a preacher or just an independent Christian who has to defend themselves or feels like they should, they make this argument that science points to the direction of, a greater intelligence or whatever, like in design of nature and everything. And I don't really agree with this because, well, let me go down on the list. I have notes too, by the way, so that's why I'm looking down. But one argument is sort of like the position of the universe and, quantum theories and everything that I've actually read some on this, and it has to do with, if there's, like, chemically, on a lot of levels, in order for the universe to physically exist, certain things need to happen, certain laws need to be in place. Like, why do we have the law of gravity? Why, do quantum physics behave more differently than larger physics, and how does it fit together? Why do we see so many patterns in nature? And I think that this kind of disappears when you consider the theory of multiple universes. Like, maybe it's not anything special. Maybe these patterns that we're seeing are just, maybe we're just made to look for patterns, and that could be a reason why. Or it could be that multiple universes could exist, and that this is just one of them, or that this was the only one that could exist because, anything else wouldn't work, so this is just one universe that exists. So that kind of takes care of the intelligent design thing. Also, it kind of really pisses me off when they use science to disprove atheism, even though it's not disproving it. Because, a lot of scientists are atheists, and it's like you're taking the work that they did and they find something strange that they can't quite explain yet, and then they turn it against atheists. But the thing with science is that there is no dead end. There is no, faith in one thing. If you find something that disproves it, sure, you're going to do a few more studies, you're going to test your theories and everything, but, essentially, there is no one right answer. If you find something that disproves it, you just go with it. There's no, sticking to one thing. And it's not that, we just change our minds randomly. It's that science becomes more advanced, and we find new things, and we get more accurate at researching things, and we find that maybe it's not what we thought it was. Now, granted, it gets annoying when a new study comes out and it's exactly the opposite of what it was a year ago, and then the same thing a year ago, they keep changing their minds, but, that's the way it is. There is no definite right answer any way you look at it. You could use the moral argument that atheists aren't moral, but that doesn't make sense because plenty of atheists are good people. And just because we don't believe in, how to live our life because of an old book that tells us, doesn't mean we can't figure out how to be a good person on our own. A lot of logical people would be able to think, well, if I'm an asshole to everyone, they'll probably, take a hint and be an asshole right back. Or maybe I won't have as many friends if I'm, a complete dick to everyone. And granted, I'm not saying all atheists are good people. There are a lot of atheists that are bad people too, and just complete jerks. But there are a lot of Christians who are jerks. I don't want to quote the Crusades, but there you go. The death of 1 million to 3 million people over religion. And not much else. Everything in the Bible, every lesson they've tried to teach, everything has been violated again and again and again by Christians who claim to be moral and claim to actually follow the Bible. But the thing that they end up doing is using it as a crutch and using it as this social, structure where they can tear other people down for not being a certain way, or saying it as, like, this pass to say, oh, yeah, I'm a good person because I'm a Christian, I'm a Christian, therefore I believe in being a good person. Do you see where that is? It's like a conditionless statement that you're a good person if you're a Christian, for some reason. And I don't understand that. I don't know if this is off topic, but another thing that really gets me that I don't understand is why people think that it's okay to... I don't know, they don't understand evolution, and they don't understand, you know, the complexity of life and how it evolves and branches out and does all that thing, and does all of that, and they just think that it's the simplistic concept of one animal morphing into another, in like a straight line, just because. I mean, you can't make the argument that Christianity makes more sense, or that God created everything makes more sense than... I mean, first of all, why would a being want to create things the way they are? I mean, I don't know, that seems pretty abstract, but another thing that's really annoying is when Christians cite the Bible as if it's like a source, like a legitimate source, that they just say everything to disprove logic, to disprove facts in front of you just by quoting the Bible. And that doesn't make any sense. Like, if you were in 7th grade and you had to write a report, the first thing that you're told is that Google isn't a source. Or sometimes you go even farther to say that Wikipedia isn't a source. Why? Because it's not, there's no proof that it's reliable. Like, if you just cite Google as your source over and over again, that doesn't tell you anything. That doesn't tell you the legitimacy of it. It doesn't tell you who came up with it or anything. It just says, it's just really vague. That's the same thing with the Bible. I mean, you could say that God wrote it, but do you know God really? Or do you just know the voice in your head? Do you understand, you know, who it was written by, you know, and how reliable it is? I mean, you could say that, you know, Jesus' followers all, you know, they were witnesses, and so they agreed with it, but then you look at them and you look at the different versions of the Bible, and a lot of it isn't consistent as it is. So I'm wondering, like, where the reliability is from the Bible to begin with. I mean, a lot of this stuff I'd imagine was passed down like any other story of the time period through mouth, and, you know, some of it was misinterpreted or lost or something, and just rewritten over and over again. I mean, it hasn't been preserved in a concrete form in a really, really long time. So to quote the Bible as a legitimate source doesn't seem, you know, solid or safe or anything. I mean, I guess you could value it for certain aspects of reading literature, but then again, it's still just this boring historical account of things that probably didn't happen. So in conclusion, I just want to say that I really don't care what anyone believes in. I don't care if they're Christian or Muslim or atheist like myself. I don't really care. Believe what you want to. But to tell someone else to believe what you believe and to, you know, attack them in that way, I mean, I don't really believe in that. Which is why I'm debunking these theories.